Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's SwissTalk with Zurich. We hope you're doing well, and we're delighted to have so many of you joining us today. And of course, we do hope to see you in person soon again. For those of you that don't know us yet, we are all based here in New York City. And for today, we have chosen a background that is only 1 hour away from Zurich for a day trip. So here myself, I have the background of the Rhine Falls, and Natalie is on Mount Rigi today, while Maîté is in Rapperswil. And we are your one-stop shop for all you need for your business events, and are happy to guide you through your RFP and anything else Swiss related. Now let's get to today's SwissTalk. We have an exciting session with our partner destination, Zurich, coming up, and we'll cover more information about Switzerland, including the current situation after we learned about all the MICExcitement in Zurich.
But before we begin, let's quickly go through some technicalities in case you are new to our Swiss Talks. So our aim is to make the next 30 minutes as interactive and fun as possible for all of us. So we ask you to please change your chat box setting to send to panelists and attendees so that everybody can see it and interact with each other. We will also use the polls twice, and we will record this session, so you'll receive that tomorrow. We appreciate that you send us some questions and comments in the registration already, and we'll try to cover as much as possible of those, starting with the question of direct flights into Switzerland.
Indeed, we have some good news that many airlines, including Swiss International Airlines, will expand schedules from mid-summer and also reintroduce long-haul routes that were recently not served, such as Boston, LA, and Miami. And we hope that more will follow soon as well. And of course, if your clients are already in Europe, we have even more good news for you.
Yes, so whether they are in Europe already, or they might have a dual destination program with another European destination, or they might just fly into a European destination because of a better flight connection. As you can see here, Switzerland and particularly Zurich are very well connected to other European hubs. For example, you can see Paris and Milan are only 4 hours by train to Zurich. And Zurich is not only easily accessible from European destinations, but also from many Swiss destinations.
Yes, that's right. And as you can see here, you're very quickly from the metropolitan city of Zurich to any corners of Switzerland, including, for example, my neck of the woods, which is the Zermatt area where the famous Matterhorn is. And that only takes you 3.5 hours, and it's truly a spectacular journey.
But today is all about Zurich, so we would like to know from you guys who has been to Zurich already. Please let us know in the chat box. Tell us if you've been there with a program, if you've been there privately. Let us know where you've been and what you did, maybe even. Okay, I see we have a wonderful program at the Swiss Hotel Zurich. Somebody has it on their bucket list. We're very happy to hear that, of course. Zurich and Lucerne, as you may have joined last month's Swiss Talk, Lucerne, and been there with SCIB. Wow, okay. So I think that's a good transition, Caroline.
Yeah, so we were very happy to see that some of you have experienced it and some of you have not. And even for us, the SCIB girls, it's super exciting to be able to introduce you to our host, Vanessa, who is the head of the CVB, and she has some amazing surprises in for you. So stay tuned, Vanessa.
If you think about your last MICE program, most likely back in 2019, what do you think? Was it that your customers or guests remembered long after they have left? Please write us in the chat as well. Just waiting for one or the other. The food, yeah, that's a good one. Always one of the highlights. Chocolate. And you could share experiences as well from other destinations. Took an evening dinner cruise, nice. Being around people, yeah, that's true, great. Really good one. Yeah. Exactly. This has exactly been our experience as well. Therefore, we believe the true value of service is found in unique, unexpected, and meaningful moments, such as the ones you have just shared. Thank you. In this presentation, I will add highlights from some of my own meaningful moments to our list in order to show you some ways in which your next event can become another memorable experience in Zurich. One thing I think that we can all agree contributes to creating memorable experiences is having sites and activities which are easily accessible from a central location. I will only mention a few of our city highlights, starting with the picture of the Uetliberg on the top left side here. For me, to take in a city, the best way is to do it from above. And to reach the Uetliberg, it's only a 10 minutes train ride from the main station and another couple of minutes by foot to reach the summit. And believe me, you will have a spectacular view over the city, the lake, and the Alps. In summer, the Uetliberg is a very popular hiking spot and you can do team events up there. And in my opinion, even better, in winter, the hiking trails to the summit are converted into sledding runs. This is such a fantastic and fun activity to do. And although I know the #1 sport in North America is football, I would like to draw your attention to the picture of the FIFA World Cup trophy, which you see here. As the original FIFA World Cup trophy is on display at the FIFA Football Museum located in Zurich downtown, and you can see it's only 8 minutes away from the main station. It is an interactive museum and really celebrates the rich heritage of soccer. And no worries, if you are not that much into soccer like I am, it's still worth a visit. And it was an unexpected great experience, which I can only recommend. And one of my favorite things to do in Zurich is a stroll through our medieval old town, which you see on the right-hand side here. Starting from the main station, the best way to discover the old town is by foot. And as you can see, it only takes you 5 minutes and you are already in one of the most popular areas of the old town. It is a pedestrian zone, which is very popular for shopping as it features mostly boutique stores and smaller brands and local brands, which some of them you will only find in Switzerland. And the same area converts into a nightlife district with many bars, restaurants, and street artists. It's a very lively area, and I can only recommend to stroll around, discover the small streets, and just having a glass of wine after a successful shopping day. So you see, these were only 3 highlights out of many, but I think I made my point that everything is very close in Zurich. And that brings me to our first highlight that awaits you the moment you leave the airport. I'm talking about the Circle. So please join me in welcoming my dear colleague, Paul, the Director of Sales and Marketing of the 2 Hyatt hotels and the Convention Center at the Circle, as Paul is going to lead us on a virtual tour. Paul, the stage is yours.
Welcome to the Circle. We're currently at the park, which is at the heart of the Circle. 80,000 square meters of greenery right at your doorstep. The park even offers an infrastructure to hold events here. The Circle is a smart building when it comes to sustainability standards. We're proudly certified with national and international certifications. It's just a 2-minute walk from the park into the convention center, where we have 18 event spaces, varying from 30 to 300 square meters. But the cherry on the cake is the convention hall, which I'm going to show you right now. This is the convention hall in the Circle Convention Center. It's around 1,500 square meters and has a ceiling height of 13 meters. And what I personally like about this room especially is the glass ceiling. So you have natural daylight coming from above. Given the space, we can host events up to 1,500 people in theater setup or dinners up to 750 people in round table setting. If you have smaller groups, we can break the room in 3 equal parts with soundproof walls coming from the ceiling. And good to know, you can have multiple cars driving into the convention center as well. Swissness and proximity to nature are at the core of the design of our convention center. You will see this in the colors that we've used and the materials that you will find here. And of course, an abundance of natural daylight. The circle is designed by Japanese architect Riken Yamamoto, and this is his modern interpretation of Zurich Old Town. The circle is really a small city in Zurich. It offers all the conveniences of bars, restaurants, shops, 2 Hyatt hotels and the Zurich Convention Center at Zurich Airport in the heart of Europe. This truly feels like a neighborhood where we work together with our partners to create unique event experience for you as a client. Isn't attending events all about creating meaningful connections? And where better to do that than at the Hyatt Regency bar, which is directly connected to the convention center. As you can see, the circle is so much more than just an airport location. And yet, it offers easy access to, for instance, Zurich Old Town. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that inspiring tour of the circle. As you can see, we put some facts and figures together on this slide, but Paul will be live with us until the end of this presentation to answer your questions directly. So please just write them in the chat and we will monitor them and answer them at the end. But for now, let's move on to our next exciting experience. I promised I will be talking about my own meaningful moments, and I would like to draw your attention to the first highlight, which is an all-in-one experience that can be had at the Pavilion Le Corbusier, which you see on the top left side here. Our last customer event with around 100 guests took place at the museum, which is the very last building designed by the Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier. The museum is located along shores of Lake Zurich, so you can imagine yourself standing before a breathtaking view of the lake and the mountains. After some time mingling around with the other guests, we went inside to have our standing dinner surrounded by a setting of the exhibition. That was such an impressive experience and a unique moment for our local customers as well, which they could not have experienced without our organizing efforts. And in which other destinations can your guests be served wine from a drinking fountain? As you can see on this picture here, in Zurich, we make it happen. And is there anyone with us today who attended the meeting trophy in 2019? Please write it in the chat. And if so, I'm sure you will remember the welcome reception we had at Seebad Engel, with attendees putting the pools to good use once all of the formalities were over. This was one of those exciting experiences we still talk about in the team, as we had so much fun ourselves as well. And last but not least, a very exciting moment for our customers is when they arrive at the Lindt Home of Chocolate after traveling there by an exclusive boat trip. But before handing over to my colleague Stephan, who's a sales manager of the Lindt Home of Chocolate, I would like to know from you what you think would be a memorable experience for your guests. So please just give us your vote in the poll, which you should see right now. Is it an exclusive art and culture experience? Oh, I see a glass of wine poured from a fountain. It's already good. Exclusive boat tour, yeah. Who will win this one? All right, exclusive art and culture experience is a good one as well. Oh, I think we might have a winner. It will be the, exclusive boat tour on Lake Zurich. I will show you the results. Yeah, that was the one. But there were 2 voting for the jump into Lake Zurich. I know you can only do that in summertime, but still I can assure you it's a really nice thing to do as well. And we love to do that. All right, but without any further hesitation, let's discover our next highlight.
Here we are standing in front of the Lindt Home of Chocolate, just next to the original production site of Lindt & Sprüngli. We're located only 10 minutes away from the city center, and you can easily reach us by private car, train or bus. But for me, the most spectacular way is with a scenic boat ride. Welcome to the Lindt Home of Chocolate. in our main hall with a spectacular, impressive chocolate fountain with real chocolate in it. Besides this eye-catcher, you also can experience our shop, the museum, you can do your chocolate courses or your own personalized events, everything under one roof. Let's get started with the chocolate tour and jump directly into the jungle. On our interactive museum tour, you'll learn everything about chocolate. Learn about the cultivation of the cocoa bean. You also learn about the history of the beans, how they came from South America to Europe. And we also have a room which is called the Swiss Pioneers, where we showcase the rich Swiss chocolate history. And of course, you have a lot of opportunities to taste chocolate within the museum. And by the way, you can experience the tour, the chocolate tour, with an audio guide or a personal guide in several languages. The Lindt Home of Chocolate is not only a museum, it is also a perfect location for events, social programs and meetings. We are sitting here in the so-called lounge, where we are having a bar in here, but it can also be used for smaller presentation. Behind this door, the real chocolate experience is awaiting you. Let's have a look if the master chocolatier is already here.
Grüezi. I am the master chocolatier. Groups and individual guests can join chocolate courses with me. Together, we create praline, bars, and all sorts of chocolate creation.
For those who haven't had enough, they can shop till they drop at the world's largest Lindt shop.
Wow, Stephan, thank you very much. I'm sure all of us are in the mood for chocolate right now, aren't we? But Stephan will be live with us until the end of this presentation as well, and to answer your questions, and I'm sure he will take your orders as well. But for now, let's move on with one question for you guys. We would like to know what you think would be the most exciting moment for your guests at the Lindt Home of Chocolate. All right, what do we have here? Oh, the exclusive chocolate course, yeah. Stephan, I think we need to tell them more about the chocolate fountain in the end, from what I see here. Exclusive chocolate course is a good one, yeah. Meeting the master chocolatier, yeah. All right. So I will share the results with you. So the winner actually is, for this one, the exclusive chocolate course. Would be my favorite as well, although I think it was a very hard decision. And if we could vote all of them, I think we would have done it. All right. So to summarize, which other destination can invite you to play around with the best chocolate in the world, mingle by a lake after an insightful congress, or even to enjoy the sunset on top of a house mountain with a spectacular view? I really hope I could show you during the last couple of minutes how different and extraordinary a MICE outing to Zurich can be if you have the right partner on site, focusing on our very own interpretation of the E in MICE. But before I'm done, I was talking so much about experiences during the last couple of minutes that I would like you to register to receive your personal experience from Zurich. We just post the link in the chat for you to copy it and to register to receive your personal experience soon. And lastly, please join me in thanking Paul and Stephan for the outstanding virtual tours they gave us. I think we have a couple of minutes left and would like to invite both of them to join me on the virtual stage to answer your questions directly to you. And I will give you a few seconds to scan our QR codes off LinkedIn, because it would be great to stay in touch with you and to see you in Zurich very, very soon again. I just read that someone doesn't see the link. We will post it again. I will just copy and post it again. All right. So let us know in the chat, please, if you see it. Ah, there it is. Perfect. All right. Good. So I hope everyone connected with us, and please stay with us after our Q&A as well, because my dear colleagues from the SCIB team will take over and give you some updates on Switzerland. But for now, my colleagues, I think both of them should be there. We are more than happy to be here for your questions. All right. So let me double check. So chocolate from you, excellent presentation. Thank you very much. Are there any questions to the circle, or are there any questions to the Lindt Home of Chocolate besides putting your order in place? I think I already have enough chocolate from you. All right. So maybe we could quickly start why there would be another question coming in. Paul, please just give us in a short sentence, short and crispy, your personal highlight of the circle.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, and thank you everybody for attending the webinar. The personal highlight of the circle is that I joined 2 years ago. I saw the question popping up now. The circle is built over the last 5 years, and it has recently opened in November 2020. If you look at the hotels and the convention center, the first hotel will open in 3 weeks together with the convention center, and the second hotel will open as soon as the market allows again. So I think personally, being there from the beginning, that's my personal highlight.
Thank you so much, Paul. In the meantime, we had some questions coming in via the chat. So I think you already answered, when was the circle built? We know you're about to open, so thank you very much for the preview we got. And Stephan, we do have several questions for you. What's the maximum number of attendees for an event at Lindt Home of Chocolate? And how do you book one of the events?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Yeah, you can book the events through me, and we also have a team who is organizing events at the Lindt Home of Chocolate. So we usually send out customized offers to you guys, and it really depends on how much or how many people are attending the event. And also the other question was the maximum capacity. It also depends on the venue you book within the Lindt Home of Chocolate. So far we haven't done a lot of events yet because of the actual circumstances, but let's say we start from like small events from 5 people onwards up to 100, 150. The plan in the future is also that we can use our main hall, which allows us to go much bigger in terms of the events. And but this is not ready yet. So I would say a good size for events at the Lindt Home of Chocolate is roughly around 100 people, 150 people.
Perfect. Thank you, Stephan. And before wrapping up our session, if there are no more questions from our audience, Stephan, please share your... may I have Stephan's email address? I think we can write it in the chat right now. That's a good one. Perfect. And Stephan, could you please just share your personal highlight of the Lindt Home of Chocolate?
I think my personal highlight is actually to stand in the middle of the main hall, and then you can smell the chocolate fountain, because it's not like fake chocolate in there, so it's real chocolate. It's 1,500 kilograms of real chocolate, so it definitely gives a good smell. And yeah, and also because the Lindt Home of Chocolate is just next to the production site of Lindt and Sprüngli, so it's quite an authentic place to have such an experience.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much for your time investment to join us and to listen to us about Zurich. And please stay for the next couple of minutes, as my dear colleagues from the SCIB team have some news about Switzerland as well.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, Stephan, and Paul. I'm sure you all agree that you have learned something new about Switzerland again, because it is pretty new. My personal highlight is certainly making your own chocolate bar, which I've done in the past with groups. And you can really everybody can be as creative as they want. And the best thing is everyone gets to take a little piece of Swiss sweetness back home with you. And who wouldn't like that, right? So we'd like to give you, for the next 5 minutes, we'd just like to give you a quick update on the current situation in Switzerland, as well as a little refresher in case you're not too familiar with what our country has to offer, and hopefully whet your appetite a little bit more. And obviously Vanessa is still staying there with Stephan and Paul, so we can take some more questions after, just in case.
Thank you, Caroline. So firstly, if you listen to our SwissTalk from last time about Lucerne, you know that Switzerland has been in a light lockdown since January. However, things have started to loosen a little bit since then. So as of right now, for example, stores and museums are back open. So life is getting a little bit back to normal, one day at a time. But as you may know, American and Canadian citizens are unfortunately still not allowed into the country. So we will wait with sharing any specific details about quarantine and testing and so forth until travel restrictions are lifted and it makes sense to do so. However, if you are interested, as we said in the beginning, if you have groups located in Switzerland, in Europe, I mean, and wanting to go to Switzerland, with those restrictions, we will send you all the information you need in tomorrow's follow-up. But now to what you're seeing on this slide. So we have actually created a dedicated page on our website for hybrid events. You can find tips and tricks, how-tos, and case studies to help you make your hybrid event a success. So have a look at it and let us know what you think. Maybe you can even use it for an event until you can make it to Switzerland.
Okay, and from what we're hearing, bookings are slowly increasing again and picking up, and we believe that Switzerland has a lot to offer, also in terms of privacy and safety for your groups, now more important than ever. And last time we spoke about the Churchill train that you can actually hire. And this time I'd like to show you here a special carriage. There are 2 of them that you can privatize, and you can hold a meeting, you can serve breakfast on the train. You can basically use your transfer as part of the program from taking you from A to B. In case you're interested, one of those cars takes up to 30 packs. And as I said, there's 2 of those, so they are ideal for smaller type of groups that you hopefully will have soon.
Thank you, Caroline, for this great idea. I always wanted to participate in a meeting in a train like this. And if you and your clients want a special treatment, you can also rent a hotel that offers privacy, but also safety that they might require. For example, here you have the Jetty Hotel, which is located in Andermatt in the Swiss Alps, just by Lucerne, Zurich, sorry, only 1.5 hours. And this hotel is really, really ready to welcome you and your groups. It has in total 123 rooms, but also a meeting room and 4 delicious restaurants, and of course, the spa.
And if you would rather prefer to leave the hotel for an off-site lunch or gala dinner, you can also privatize a whole street, as you can see here, a mountaintop or a village for a culinary outdoor experience. Isn't that something unique? And we can also do this in the midst of the vineyards, if you prefer to be right at the source of that delicious Swiss wine.
You certainly got me with this one here, Natalie, you know that. I mean, who wouldn't want to sip on a glass of Swiss wine with those stunning views in the background, right? But until we can clink classes in Switzerland, we'd love to answer any remaining questions that you may have, maybe now in the chat box, ask them, or anything else Swiss related that you've ever wanted to know, because I'm happy to say with everybody on the panels here, we should be able to answer those questions. And yeah, so we just see if there is something. How small and large can a group be? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, Switzerland itself is a small country, but we do have capacity for larger groups when it comes to convention centers and hotels, but literally anything from, so we deal with groups from 10, and to answer the maximum capacity, we've had groups up to 6,000. So kind of in between there. It really depends on what it is and what kind of accommodation you're looking for. Because the accommodations, in fact, it is the circle with the 2 Hyatts that have the largest hotel accommodation under one roof. And correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but it's 550 rooms between the 2 hotels under one roof. And that would be in Zurich. And otherwise the hotels are with the norms of, you know, between 100 and 250 rooms, kind of as an average.
Correct. So to be very specific, 555. Yes.
Thank you.
We're all about the details, right?
Yes.
And while you type your questions, please let me get you excited for the next SwissTalk with Montreux. So did you know that in this wonderful vineyard area in Switzerland, a lot of well-known musicians and artists has actually lived and recorded famous songs? We have decided actually to create a Spotify playlist with all of the songs from North American artists that have a connection with Switzerland. So just have a listen and try to guess the connection. And if you want to have more information about the connection between North American artists and Switzerland, you can also find some of the stories on the Facebook Leisure group. You just have to go to Facebook and insert MICExcitement and you will find the group.
Thank you so much, Maîté. We hope that we sparked your interest in our SwissTalk with Montreux next month and would love to have you join us. But today, I would really like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Vanessa, Stephan, and Paul for giving us this exciting session on Zurich. Hopefully you have discovered something new, and what we'd really like to pass on is also, for those of you that know us a little bit better, you probably have discovered that we love what we do. We have a lot of passion in what we do, but we love to work with great people that we can rely on. And Zurich and its local destination, its local partners are certainly top-notch and totally reliable to work for to make your event a successful one. So don't hesitate to reach out to us, to Zurich. You will get everyone's details tomorrow with a follow-up email, so you have the contact details directly. And with that, I don't think we have any other questions. We like to be on time as Swiss, so we nearly stayed on time. So if there are no other questions, we would like to thank all of you for your time, for your dedication and your confidence in Switzerland. We can't wait to see you all in person, but until then, reach out to us in any possible way. And we'd love to stay connected until we get to meet somewhere. And for now, please stay safe, healthy, positive, and above all, sane, right? And on that note, it's time for our Swiss partners to go for a glass of that Swiss wine, maybe from the fountain, followed by a chocolate from the chocolate fountain. And otherwise, don't see anything else coming up. Thank you everyone so much. It was fun having you with us for 30 minutes.
Thank you from Zurich as well. And cheers to everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice afternoon.
Thanks. Take care.